Hey, what are you laughing at?
I'm laughing at you counting down.
Yeah, well, you got to count down. Yeah.
The protein shake recipe, smoothies.
People can go down, probably in the description right now, if Jared added something, there's probably something free. Oh yeah, hey Steve, you gonna throw it out to me, brah? There's a cup, Ashley, there's a book. Hey. There's Steve, maybe you saw him for a second. You can get this book and this cup free right now. Just go to the link below, click it, we will send it to you. All you pay is shipping. You just pay a shipping charge, like $5, $7, whatever it is. But you get a recipe book that's 40, how many pages is this bad boy?
I don't know, but I was opening it during my videos
Okay,
earlier.
it's 44.
Salted caramel smoothie, I want that.
Look at this. 1 cup unsweetened almond milk, liquid of your choice. A scoop of BioTrust, that's our preferred protein powder. Vanilla caramel protein powder. A tablespoon of fat-free, sugar-free butterscotch or vanilla instant pudding mix.
Get out of town.
Yeah, well, some people don't realize this. If you put a little bit of pudding mix in, that's what's going to help it taste better,
So you can't have this book because I'm taking this one home.
You're going to take this one home. Half cup of crushed ice. Place them all in the blender and
look at those
and
macros,
and then you get nutrition facts at the bottom. So you have a lot of pages here of different options, and for people who are just looking for other things, like eating well, eating clean can get really boring. For some of not everybody, because I see some great stuff that people are like get creative at home and they're doing butternut.
But the amount of effort it takes to do those, like I don't know how many of you guys scroll on social media and you're like, that recipe looks so good, and then you watch the whole involved process, you're like, it just looks good, but I'm probably not going to do it.
I'm not going to invest all that time and
effort.
It's
a lot of time.
You gotta like the kitchen. You gotta like being in your kitchen and cutting and
a lot of it's like
cooking.
unique ingredients too. Like that, I have all of those ingredients
That's
at home, except for the vanilla pudding. Which
That's right.
Vanilla pudding's like $1.
Yeah, most of these are based off of like a vanilla protein powder. So I mean, everybody has or can get a protein powder. It doesn't have to be the suggested one. Any protein powder. And then it's giving you ingredient options. It's giving you a little information at the front. You get a critical med shaker cup. Anyway, it's free. It's there for you. Please take advantage of it. And
I think the important part about us giving this away for free is all of our videos today are specifically talking about body types and athleticism. So I did some filming earlier today that talked about bodybuilding and nutrition and bodybuilding. I talked about athletic performance, which we're going to talk about today, but the main underlying theme of all of it was your nutrition and prioritizing your protein. So if you're wondering why we're doing this one specifically, well, there's a helicopter.
It's probably a Coast Guard one.
No, it's not. Okay, well, we're live. You guys probably already know this if you live in St. Petersburg or Clearwater. There's a fugitive on the loose.
Oh,
yeah, he got out of the van. It's 6 minutes away from here.
Oh, great.
Go lock the doors, Sam. No, I promise. He escaped the van.
Sam, if you're watching right now, go lock our front door.
It's 6 minutes away on Olmerton.
Yikes.
Yeah, he's on the loose. It's been
Big
over
old
an hour.
manhunt. Wow.
Huge manhunt. So
Actually,
that's exactly what it is.
I'm in a neighborhood group thread, and my neighborhood, and I saw something in there about manhunt, and I was like, I'm too busy. I got stuff to do.
So he was making fun of me because I was scrolling social media, and that was when I had to text my husband. He works at the Rit too. I said, hey, by the way, FYI, just a heads up. Anyways, back to what we were saying. So that's the helicopter.
Yes.
Squirrel.
All right.
Protein, guys. So back to athleticism.
And the trouble is, we both squirrel. We're both squirrelers, so this is dangerous territory. We did what we want to really get to. 10 minutes into the live. What we really are here to talk about is physiques and body types. What's that, buddy?
We're locked. We're good.
We're locked up?
Door's locked.
Thanks, Jared. Appreciate you. I don't want all of a sudden we're here and we're hearing screaming in the offices.
My weapon's not in here. It's in there.
I know. She's packing.
Always.
You can protect me.
I could.
Yeah, you could.
Absolutely.
Especially with those self-defense moves that I taught you.
Yeah,
you know where to go.
I remember, guys.
You know where to go.
I do.
What do you do with the shin?
Oh, wait. Kick in the shin and then
kick
and
scrape.
Oh, yeah. Kick and scrape. I remember.
Kick and scrape and the brachial stun to the neck.
Yo, if you guys didn't see me beating up Chris on live, that was a good one.
Yeah, go back a few months and you can watch her.
Okay, back to athleticism.
We squirreled again.
Good.
So athletic bodies, right, versus the gym body, the bodybuilder's body. You've been talking about that a lot today in the recording, the videos that are due to come out in the coming weeks. What's one thing that you want to kind of start the conversation with when it comes to that?
So I'll start with the quote that I was told before I was a bodybuilder. So the cool thing is if you've been tuning into Critical Bench for quite the years that I've been here. I mean, I started filming with you guys in 2017, 2018.
Oh yeah, it's been 5 years.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't as often as it is now, but you guys kind of watched my body transform. I mean, I was straight bodybuilding at that point. I stopped bodybuilding in 2019. And you saw my physique change. We did so much leg stuff, legs. And I got my butt kicked since I'm still an athlete at the end of the day. But what I was told before I started bodybuilding, when I first started training, transition to bodybuilding, then now more athletic based, is my coach told me at the time, I build athletes, not statues. And that always kind of stuck with me. So when I think of bodybuilding versus athletic physique, is that bodybuilders aren't built for performance. We're literally built to step on stage. And I always say, it's not how strong you are, it's how strong you look. Because you're a bodybuilder walking around. As a female bodybuilder, how many people said, oh, you look like you could beat me up. Suddenly muscles mean you're really aggressive or something. Yeah. But it's not yes, I was strong, but I couldn't perform. So again, the basis of this is, again, another story. This isn't a squirrel story. This is I walked into a CrossFit gym 3 weeks post-show, and I was doing the Murph. If you don't know what the Murph is, it is a workout that is dedicated, to the military, to Lieutenant Michael Murphy.
Tell them exactly what it is,
Yeah, so it's dedicated to Lieutenant Michael Murphy. If you guys have ever seen, what's the movie where he's in Afghanistan, he sends the troops over, but he goes out to distract them. I can't think of it right now. If you know it, drop in the comments.
Oh shoot.
I cried.
Not Lone Survivor.
No.
No, that's the other one. That's oh shoot. That's with Lutris or whatever. Marcus. That's Marcus whatever.
I can't remember. So the point of the Murph is he's leading his team, and at the time he sacrificed himself to save his team. And so every year, the United States and anybody who supports our United States military will do this, not just Americans, but it's a worldwide thing. And we go out and you run 1 mile, you do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and you finish it with a 1 mile run. Any variations to that, and a lot of people say, I did the Murph, but they did a variation, they ran a quarter mile, this, that. No, if you're not doing it 1 mile, 100, 200, 300 is not the Murph. I don't care what you say about it. That's my personal opinion. But the Murph is supposed to be hard.
Can you do the 100 pull-ups with a band?
Yes, there are different. You can definitely.
Honestly,
you can't do them straight. There's some people who do.
Dude, after like 40 pull-ups, I'm like gassed for pull-ups.
So you can scale it as long as you do the reps. You can do it. The 1 mile cannot be broken up. You got to get out and do the mile.
That's fine. And 200 push-ups is not a big deal. And
300 air squats.
Sorry, 100 push-ups.
No, it's 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups.
200 push-ups and 300.
Squats.
Those are fine. It's the pull-ups that would like really get me working hard.
So you can scale it, obviously, to break it up to 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30. As long as you get the reps done, it's still okay.
Oh, okay, good.
With that said, so I was a bodybuilder, right?
Yeah.
And I just stepped off stage 3 weeks before this, and I walk into this CrossFit gym, right?
Give me your pose. Give me your pose.
I can't. I don't have like those big muscles anymore.
What was your favorite position, body position to hold on stage?
Well, so we have something called, we have our mandatories.
Right.
So your mandatories, your front relax, your quarter turn. But then you have your model poses too.
Right.
So like my favorite model pose was because obviously I had good legs.
Right.
So obviously coming up here and accentuating my legs.
Sure.
I've lost 20 pounds of muscle since then.
It's okay.
Like strategically though, I just didn't want to be that big. Again, back to what we're saying, like bodybuilder versus athletic performance. Like I couldn't perform with the amount of muscle I had. It was too much for my skeletal frame. I'm 5'4". I was 145 pounds in my off season. Stepping on stage my last show, I was probably 130 at like 7% body fat.
But wouldn't you say you're healthier right now than you were then?
You know, I can say I was healthy on both sides. I will because like I was.
You did it the right way. You were pretty.
Yeah, I don't say that. I was healthy. My body was healthy. But the whole pendulum swinging wasn't healthy on my hormones. So like, while I was prepping, I was probably my healthiest because I was literally strictly eating to perform. I was lifting the weights, getting the sleep, drinking the water, eating, lifting the weights. Like if you could go to a very basic lifestyle of just checking the box every single day, which most people can't, I was like, you would say that. The problem is nobody can live that lifestyle like 365 days a year.
Right.
Where you just go, there are very few people, like my bodybuilding coach is one of those very few people in the world who literally does that, and he hasn't stepped on stage in over 10 years.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's wild. So back to what I'm saying, I'm walking in this CrossFit gym, right?
Yeah. You're looking like you could just lift the whole gym.
I just stepped off stage 3 weeks before. So I had abs, you guys know my old videos, I had like shoulders, legs, and these CrossFit girls, obviously they're competitors. They see me walking, they're like, I get the looks. You know the looks, especially if you're a bodybuilder. People always looking at you. And I'm like, I'm ready. I'm here. Let's go. 1 mile run starts. Everybody, whoo! Guess what bodybuilders don't do?
Run.
We don't run. We don't run. You have a lot of muscle. It's a lot of pressure on your joints, right?
All most bodybuilders have ever seen,
Stairmaster.
walk, recumbent bike,
Yep.
or like
elliptical.
Easy peasy cardio.
Yeah, it's low intensity.
Yeah, low intensity.
You know, something low intensity. You want to keep your heart rate low. You don't want to get your heart rate up too high. And obviously, right out the gate, it was a 1 mile run.
So what'd you do?
I ran. I was last one coming in.
Sure.
So now we go and we start the pull-ups. And I do the first 10 like without a band. I got him.
Sure.
Good. Next 10, I'm like, I think I got like 3 or 4 in. I was like, oh, like, because my cardiovascular system wasn't built for this.
Of course.
I just ran a mile.
You're used to taking 2-minute rest periods in between
I'm like,
lifts.
I lift the weights, I put them down. I lift the weights, I put them down. So I go, and halfway through this, I'm just spent, right? I'm done. And like, I see the same people, they're probably thinking like, look at the bodybuilder dying. Because now they realize, like, I'm not a CrossFitter. I'm not like an athletic-based person. I am built for looks. I was a statue. As my coach said, I build athletes, not statues. So it was in that moment that I decided, I want to say this was back in 2017, 18, and I said, you know what, like after bodybuilding, I want to get back into athletic training. I want to be an athlete again. Like I want to be able to jump boxes. I want to be able to like run and move and be quick. And like I wanted to just really dive back into my like platform of before I went to college and drank a lot. I was an athlete, and I was a really good athlete. I was captain of all my teams. I was just always like the top of the game. And if you're not first, you're last, and that's how I trained as an athlete. Obviously, that was part of my mental like strength as a bodybuilder too, is that I don't train for second place. Yeah. I was trained for first place. So that came from my athletic background, is my mom never celebrated second place. So after bodybuilding, I was very good at it. Obviously I had my daughter. We had that postpartum series, and then I got back to athletic-based training. Yeah. So that's why we're here today, because we're like, let's go.
Well, I just wanted to talk with you because probably out of all 4 of our coaches, the 2 on the main channel, the 2 on the compound channel, you kind of have that background, that athletic background, and it's also currently the way you still train yourself, right? And that's how I've transitioned. I'm far removed from like my bodybuilding days and like just sticking to the same 8 lifts all the time. You know, having like a leg day that's the same 2 or 3 lifts, having a chest day that's the same 2 or 3 lifts. And yeah, I was strong in those movements. I was strong, but what the heck? My volume? I'm dead?
Oh no! Don't worry, I'll continue to talk.
I am good.
Okay.
You can't hear me? That just died.
All right.
Oh, great. So do I need to talk to Ashley's mic?
At least we're not sweaty yet, guys.
I'll talk with Ashley's mic, I guess.
But you know what? I wanted to go on a tangent for that real fast.
Okay, go ahead.
Vertical training versus horizontal training, right? So I talked about that. Like bodybuilders, we horizontal train. We go in, we do 4 sets of 12. All right, 12 shoulder press, recover. 12 shoulder press, recover. 12 shoulder press, recover. Okay, next movement. All right, 12 reps, upright row, recover. 4 sets, 12, 4 sets, 12. That's your horizontal training, right?
Yeah.
So in athletic training, we vertical train. So it's like, all right, I'm going to do 15 wall balls because it does take a lot of athleticism to go down and power up using your core, your hips, your glutes, everything. Get the ball up, catch it at the proper, and go back up. And really, athletic training focuses a lot on core too. I mean, all weightlifting does at the end of the day. But there's that joke that's going around. You don't have to train abs if you lift properly.
No, you're correct. Because everything becomes an abdominal or a core exercise. And hopefully, because my voice is loud enough, actually.
We can hear you now.
You can hear me again. Okay, so there was just maybe the
glitch in the matrix.
There was a glitch in the matrix. Thank you, Keanu, for fixing it. So yeah, I think that's ultimately what I was after, was kind of trying to reestablish myself as more of an athlete and having my training in the gym translate to a better life outside of the gym.
Yes.
And that's where people get stuck a lot, is they're really strong and they look really good in the gym, but then like they can't really go out and play a basketball game and have any kind of stamina or endurance. They're just dying. Or I love tennis. I love playing baseball with my son. I love going for walks and bike rides and working out with my wife. And that requires a lot of steps, a lot of movement, a lot of kind of natural conditioning.
I think that longevity of the body, and this is my own personal opinion, athletic training is going to give you more longevity out of the body than a bodybuilder training, because it's not about just growing the muscle. Like, yes, you are strong, and I am still pretty freaking strong, but it is also strengthening the tendons and the ligaments that support the muscles on the skeletal structure. As a bodybuilder, and I see it a lot because obviously I'm out of the bodybuilding industry at this point and kind of that community, but I still follow it because I respect it and I was in it for a long time. I do see these tears, these muscle tears right off the bone, right? So the muscles are getting so big that your ligaments and your tendons can't support it. One, you're not doing a lot of balance training. Like we have the balance trainers back here, we have the box back here. But you're not focusing on that athletic training, thus strengthening the entire structure that's attached to the skeletal frame. So when we think about longevity and quality of life, it doesn't matter if you have big muscles if everything that's connecting those muscles to the skeletal frame is not supported either, because bodybuilders aren't necessarily training that. They're training for like size. Like, I mean, they look damn good. They look amazing on stage. And the amount of dedication, like, I respect it. I love it. I love it. But when you're thinking about longevity, if you're not looking to bodybuild, but you want a good quality life, you got to think about the longevity and the health of your body when you're in your 50s and your 60s and your 70s and you're still athletic training and you're still doing box jumps, because your body can support it. Like, if you're able to, one, get the strong muscles, support the and then train the tendons and ligaments and that stability, you're not going to walk off a curb one day and you're 70, you're going to break your ankle, fall and break your hip. Right?
Well, my mind can't help but go to, when your sole focus is looks and aesthetics, how just superficial that becomes, especially later in life. I'm 46. I'm not getting any younger. My kids, I have a son and a daughter who want a daddy that can be active and fun and do things right with them. And if my main goal was just for looks, right? First of all, it's like the kids don't care. They just want daddy to play around with them, right? They don't care like what daddy looks like.
No.
But the funny thing is, ultimately, if you train like an athlete, if you train like a track and field person, if you train like a baseball player or any of these guys, the side effect is you're going to probably have the body that you want, unless you're an on-stage, unless you're going for that on-stage bodybuilder
Yeah.
physique, you know, which is like a very small percent
I was telling my
of the
dad
population.
that the other day. He asked if I would ever step on stage again.
Yeah.
You know, because my dad was overseas the entire time I was bodybuilding. He never actually got to see me on stage, which is unfortunate. He saw it through pictures, but he's like, "You think you ever do it again?" I'm like, one, I've lost a significant amount of muscle. It took me so many years to put on.
Yeah.
I go, but two, I'm like, I love my physique now. Like the fact that it is almost November, it is October 28th, and I could put on a bikini and I'm happy.
Right.
And it's not like October 28th, I finished my show in July, and now I'm on the pendulum swing on the back end, and I have this like physique that I hate, and I'm trying to cover up constantly.
Yeah.
Like now, I mean, most of my filming days, I'm like, I cut all my shirts into a crop top all year. This is it. Like everything. I'm like, I bought a shirt yesterday for the Bucks game. You know what I did? Cut into a crop top.
Yeah, you cut everything.
I
man.
cut everything
Good
into a
view,
crop top.
yeah.
But that's the thing is like you just said, that I am so focused on my performance and being athletic. And I have my daughter. She starts soccer in December, and I'm probably going to be one of the few moms who's going to be out there, and I'm going to be playing with her because I want her to be better, but I also want her to have those memories, and I want her to think like my mom was able to keep up with me, not like, oh, my mom, you know, just sat on the sidelines and rolled it back to me. Like, I want to be in it. I want to be like, let's go, you know?
Right.
I want to lead by example and show her that it's, like you said, it's not about the physique, but it's about the health and the quality of life, that she'll always know me as just always being out there and being active and performing, because it just gave me better quality of life to be a better mom too.
Yeah. I think, and I also think of all the guys that, and I kind of say guys, it's women too, but it's mostly, you know, obviously it's a guy thing, right? Big muscles, right?
Okay.
And when they try to maintain that look as they get older, it seems to have diminishing returns in terms of the reliance on PEDs.
Yeah.
And life is all about me, and how I look, how I feel, right? What I can and can't do, what I will or won't eat, where I'll go, where I won't go, all these different things, right? Am I still having issues?
How do you get rid of a skinny fat physique?
Oh, skinny fat. That's a great question.
Talk skinny fat, because that is a great question.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So last question.
Steve really wants to know skinny fat.
All right. Steve's ready. All right. So skinny fat physique. Well, when you look at skinny fat physique, I think of somebody who is skinny fat who probably doesn't train at all, or it could be gym bod. So maybe you're skinny fat, but you're in the gym consistently, and you're not prioritizing either lifting heavy enough to see those physique changes, to build the muscle. The more muscle you have on the body, more calories you're going to burn with rest, the more that skinny fat is going to shrink.
Yeah.
Okay, and so maybe you are lifting, you're in the gym 5 days a week, and you're just horizontal loading. You're like, I go and I do my shoulder press at 15 pounds, blah, blah, blah. But you're not progressive overloading, which means you're forcing the muscle to accommodate the load. You have to go into a struggle set. Like the real workout starts when you want to stop.
Yeah.
So talking about
too light a resistance, I think, is a major downfall of a lot of people's
Yeah.
training. It's like volume focused with light weight.
I'm going to go ahead
They
and
don't
say
get
this
anywhere.
question probably was from a female, because I don't think men refer to themselves as skinny fat very
No.
often. But also that is like the reason I bring this up is because most women don't train as heavy as they could.
Yes.
Right? So believe in yourself. Like I have my client who she will start struggling. I literally put my hands up and I tell her every time, I'm like, I just put my hands up and suddenly her reps are perfect.
Yes.
And I'm like, I just want you to know I literally didn't help you. And she's like, really? I'm like, no, but she just doesn't believe that she's strong enough. It's so much
right.
in her head
Yes.
that she can't get it done, so she doesn't get it done.
That's right.
So maybe you have a gym partner, you have a husband, maybe you see a guy at the gym or another female, hey, do you mind spotting me? You want to go up, you know, I think every gym at this point has 2.5 weight increments at this, like, it's no longer 5, 10, 15.
Right.
Now it's like 5, 12.5, 15, 17.5, 20, 22.5. Like when I first started, it was like, you want to go up weight, you got to go up 5 pounds.
Are you going to get big and bulky as a woman who pushes themselves with
If
heavier
you know the
weight?
secret to getting big and bulky, you let every single bodybuilder know, because they wouldn't spend, like I just said, I lost 20 pounds of muscle, and the amount of time it would take me to get big and bulky again, it's a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been lifting consistently for 10 years straight now.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Never missing more than 2 days off from the gym, except for when I was pregnant.
Wow.
And the amount of time and effort it took me to put any sort of muscle on without enhancing drugs.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It
So
is
you're
hard.
not going to get big and bulky. When we're like, but my arms are getting bigger. Well, you have fat under the layer of your skin of your arms. So as your muscles do increase, or maybe your water load, your arms going to look a little bit bigger before they lean out.
Yes.
So when people are like, yeah, my arm's too big, and
But
I'm like,
both things are happening at the same time.
It is.
You
got to trust the process.
Yeah, you got to trust the process. The fat shrinking, right? The fat cells losing size and flattening out and the muscle cells growing.
The fiber is growing. You have to add those fibers on.
Those two things happen together, right? And that process isn't an overnight thing.
No,
it's
and
several
it's
weeks,
not 50-50
months.
necessarily either. You could be growing muscle, but those fat cells are taking longer to shrink.
Yes.
Right? So like everybody has fat in their body where their body will lose the fat first. For women, unfortunately, it's mostly our chest. All right, so usually if you start seeing your chest go, well, your body fat's part is starting to drop, right? And a lot of women, the last to go is the lower body. Me, I don't really carry lower fat on my lower body. I carry all in my midsection.
Yeah, same with me.
So
I carry all my weight right here.
Yeah,
Right
literally.
here.
So I look good in like t-shirt and shorts, but then it's like go to the beach. So when I was a bodybuilder, I would go to the beach and feel like, didn't expect that. And so like now that I'm athletic training, it all fits, right? I'm like, hey. So back to your question, how do you train out of skinny fat? All right, so one, you got to lift heavy, right? You got to lift heavy, and you got to really push yourself. Like if you think about quitting, remind yourself why you started. But if you're doing a set of 12, when you get to 10, if you're not struggling by 10, 11, and 12 are going to be easy.
Great point.
If you are going into a pyramid set and you do 12 reps and that was hard, your next set's 10. Well, you should increase the weight because, again, if you just did 12 at one weight and you go and you do that same weight at 10, you're really not overloading the muscle, right? So if you do a ladder at 12, 10, 8, 6, every single time you drop your reps, you should increase your weight. It should be challenging. So at 10 reps, you get to 8, and you're like, 9. Yeah. You got it. Now you have your spotter in the back, scratch your elbows, and 10. Do not quit just because you stop here. Let that spotter help you do the work because it's still going to add the pressure on the muscle, right? So it forces the muscle to accommodate the load. Regardless if you have a little assistance or not, the muscle is still working.
Absolutely.
Get that 12th rep up.
Those forced reps are huge in breaking through plateaus and getting to that next level of growth.
You have that anabolic threshold, and majority of the people cannot train past a certain heart rate. Your mind, and I heart rate based trained people for many years, and I saw it on the screen every single time. Their heart rate got up to a certain level, and they're running, and the heart rate starts to get up. But they don't know, they're not looking at it, and suddenly they start walking, and they never reach that anabolic threshold of where you're going to now you're going to burn fat because the mind will quit 1,000 times before your body does.
Yes.
David Goggins says when you think about quitting, you've only hit 40% of your potential.
That's right. I know. It's amazing.
That's
right?
it. Like you can live your life at 40% and you can stop every time you get tired. Or you can say, hey, I'm only at 40%. I'm going to keep jogging because I said I'm going to jog for 5 minutes today. I'm 3 minutes in. 2 more minutes isn't going to kill me. Let's go. If you have any heart conditions, talk to your doctor. That's my advice.
No, it's good advice. And I have one more huge point, unless you have another one too, but I think we're in total alignment with this. For the skinny fat people out there, way too much of an emphasis on cardio activity and not enough on strength building. And I'm not saying it can't be like I'm doing cardio 6 times a week and it should be like a 50-50 in my opinion. I feel like you should have 3 strength training days a week, and they could be total body strength building days. You could have a lower body, an upper body, and a full body, something like that. And then strategically have your cardio or your strength endurance or your cardio endurance days, but then also have just active recovery days. Just every day should be active. Every day should be walking, biking, playing, running around.
I park further in the parking lot on days that I know that I have a lower energy expenditure day. Just so like yesterday, or I did train, but just getting those steps in, right? So I'm just getting my body moving because we're animals at the end of the day. We're meant to move. So I constantly tell people who don't exercise. Somebody said that I will never exercise. I see no value in it. I'm like, excuse me? That's quite literally the dumbest thing you could probably ever tell me or say out loud. So I'm surprised you said it. But two, we're animals. We're meant to move. So when you start slowing down, you literally start slowing down. Your body will slow down. Your mind will slow down. Your cognitive function will slow down. Exercise has more benefits than just physical appearance. It's also your systems. Everything's functioning. If your body is healthy, your cells are healthy. Right? So I can tell a lot by just looking at them too. You need to focus on your performance as a human. If you're struggling to get 3 flights of stairs, that's telling me your heart is really under a lot of pressure and stress. And that's really scary.
Yes.
It's very scary. It's concerning. If you have somebody you care about and you love, be like, look, if not doing it, it doesn't matter what you look like, but make sure your heart's healthy because that's going to keep you beating and keep you on this earth a little bit longer.
Yeah, no doubt.
But again, back to the strength training and cardio, I don't do steady state cardio.
Yeah.
So if you hate cardio, I call it cardio no. Hey, welcome to the crew. Cardio no way, no how, not going to happen. I do functional cardio. So I kind of was saying earlier, the vertical training. So I'll do wall balls, I'll do some burpees, I'll do some push press, right? So I vertically train that way. So on the push press, I'll be adding some weight. But the cardio and the wall balls, I mean, that's going to be my conditioning factor.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Your
like,
heart rate's up probably 110 to 130 beats a
my
minute.
heart rate gets up to 201 in case you
Oh
wanted
my
to
gosh.
know. Oh, yeah.
Doing that stuff even?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow,
I
that's
get
really high.
Like, yeah, I usually
that's
sit in the
really-
190s.
Wow, that's really
But my
high.
resting heart rate's also in the 30s.
Okay.
It's like,
Well, and this, the
healthy.
other thing people look at is how many calories am I burning in the workout versus how many calories am I burning over the course of the day, which is really where you want to get to, right? What's that basal metabolic
you-
rate? Where are you metabolically for the day versus in just the moment?
so I'm going to touch base on that real fast. I know we're kind
Sorry,
of
hey,
really
I don't
long.
care. You know what? I got no place to be. This is
Yeah.
this is wisdom. This is
Well,
fitness and health
yeah.
wisdom here.
We'll talk
So,
into that,
unleash.
the BMR, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about that total calories burned, so I'll touch on one and I'll go into another. Talking about the anabolic threshold, right? So one, you have what your BMR is if you laid in bed all day, you didn't move a single muscle, in order for your body to function alive, you have a certain amount of calories that you have to burn.
Yes.
Right? So my BMR is probably around like 1,300. 1,300 something, right? Just I'm 5'4", I'm 130 pounds right now, and that's just it. So that's just a general consensus. You can literally calculate this yourself. If you have questions, let me know. I can help you figure out that equation. There's the Harris-Benedict equation. Look it up. There you go. Figure out your BMR. Now that is the minimum calories required to just lay in bed.
To survive.
To survive.
Yes.
To breathe. Okay, so now we go into that. If I was only eating 1,300 calories a day, you know what happens? My BMR drops. So now my body becomes more efficient. Saying I'm only getting 1,300 calories in. We need to decrease the amount of calories just to survive. So now my BMR drops to 900, right? So now just laying in bed, 900 calories is all my body needs to survive. Is that wild? So now you understand how people their weight
Your
fluctuates.
body's always in a survival state,
Always.
right?
Your body's incredibly smart.
Yeah.
Your body's main purpose is to survive. It will always survive. You will pass out before you die, kind of thing. They always say you're going to pass out before you die. Your body's going to shut you down and be like, look, slow it down. But we got to preserve. It's self-preserving.
Now, what can you do to do the opposite
So-
effect on your BMR?
So so you have to eat, you have to eat to perform, right? So if you are skinny fat, I guarantee you're not eating enough.
Under-eating protein.
You're under eating, protein. You're under eating
part.
everything. So
Yeah.
you take your BMR, once you calculated that, now you find your activity level. So everybody's activity levels ranges from 1 to not 1, it's probably 1.3.
Right.
1.3 up to like 2.5. You take your BMR, you multiply it by your activity level, sedentary, moderate, extremely active. I'm extremely active, so I'm really high up there. Now I have my total calories I should be eating per day to support my BMR as well as my activity level. So that means me working out, me being on my feet. Now I have a number which for me is around 2,400. That means I need to eat 2,400 calories a day
Just to stay where you're
just
at.
to stay where I'm at, just to support my muscle, to support my performance. And now you're probably thinking like, there's no way in hell I can eat 2,400 calories, 2,400 calories a day. Yeah, you can.
But it can be challenging.
It absolutely can.
When
Protein shakes
you're
actually
eating
help.
clean, protein shakes are a huge part of
It
it.
is. I mean,
they're
during the
gap
day,
fillers.
Yeah, so I mentioned in my YouTube video earlier that if you go to the gas station and you're like, oh, I'm so hungry. Well, are you hungry or are you bored is my first question. Like, you have a long road trip, you're bored. All right, but if you are
Yes.
actually hungry, ready-made protein is right there at the gas station.
Yeah, that's true.
So I
and
would
there's
like-
a lot of good options out there now.
So many good
nowadays.
options. Yeah, I like Power Crunch bars, but I like ready-made protein. So if I'm in the gas station and I'm like, I am hungry and I don't do fast foods, I don't do drive-thrus, but I'll go and I'll grab ready-made protein, right? Or I do Chick-fil-A because they have grilled nuggets.
Yes.
So an 8-count of grilled nuggets is 4 ounces of chicken. I know 4 ounces of chicken is going to give me 30 grams of protein. And then I
right.
get a kale slaw salad on the side, got a little greens, a little bit of fat. You see how that works?
Yeah.
But it's all in the nutrition factor. So with that said, obviously we talked about the BMR, the calories, right? And if you're looking at skinny fat, if you're under eating your calories, your body's in maintenance mode, you're never gonna build muscle, it's just not gonna happen. Your body's in survival mode constantly. You gotta make sure you're eating. And that's the number one thing I correct for people is I look at what they're eating and I'm like, okay, yeah, you can eat 2,000 calories a day and you only got 50 grams of protein in. 50 grams of protein and 2,000 calories, so that's 50 times 4, that's what, 200 calories.
Right.
So 200 of those 2,000 calories of the 2,000 calories is protein.
Right.
That's not enough.
Not enough. Not
Because
even close.
4 calories per 1 gram protein.
Right.
Like, that's
No,
insane.
you're-
Like,
you're
it
way
should-
off.
Way off.
Your body can't build muscle that way.
It can't support it.
You can't support the muscle that you have.
Yeah, and
So
you're gonna gain weight.
And the weight you gain is not the weight that you want to gain, right?
not,
Because
yeah.
we're filling the gaps with crappy calories from
Yeah.
fats and carbohydrates that aren't serving us.
So that's the thing too.
Yeah.
If you're, and I just had this discussion the other day. One of my clients is asking, well, how do I lose weight? What should I do on my diet? And like, prioritize protein first of all. Protein is never going to be stored as fat in your body. It breaks down into
right.
your amino acids,
You
right?
pee it out.
It just breaks down. Your body utilizes it, and if whatever is in excess, it goes out, right? So that's why we look at the protein concentrate in urine. But with that said, like, protein is never going to make you fat. Now, in excess in carbohydrates, good or bad, well, carbohydrates are measured on the scale, right? So the insulin scale. So what am I looking for?
Oh, you're looking for
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Glycemic index.
Glycemic index.
There you
scale,
go.
yes.
So like the higher glycemic index, the more your insulin's going to raise, and thus if you're not burning it, it's like, all right, well, let's just store this for later. Oh, let's just store this for later. So now you're looking at it this way. I eat oatmeal in the morning, or this morning I had Snickers and Twix. So again, like, I raise my insulin level so high with very empty calories. What goes up must come down, and what goes down must come back up. Versus if I had something lower glycemic index, my body would literally, like, it just levels off, and it feeds my body for a prolonged period of time versus that big jump and that big drop.
Yeah.
So look at that too. Your simple versus your complex. There's a place for everything. Don't be confused about they saying fruit. Yes.
How do you tell your activity level? Stay-at-home mom tries to work out 1 hour a day.
Okay.
So we got to share that question.
Okay, so somebody asked, how do you tell what your activity level is? That's a fantastic question, guys. So activity level, this person,
She's a
she's a
stay-at-home mom.
and she tries to work out for 1 hour a day. I'm going to go as far as saying I was a stay-at-home mom up until recently. You actually have a higher activity level than you think. Depending on what age your child is, my daughter does not stop going. I mean, she's 22 months old, actually 23 as of yesterday. And I would go to say you're moderate, especially if you're working out 1 hour a day. You're not sedentary. So let's talk about this. Sedentary would be somebody who sits at a desk all day, maybe gets like 2 workouts a week, maybe 3, right, out of 7 days. So more days are spent sedentary than they are active. So that would be somebody who is sedentary. So if you're looking at calculating your total caloric need, you are sedentary. Like, you're not moving enough. Right? So now we move into moderate. Somebody who's moderate could be a stay-at-home mom. Maybe you're working out Monday through Saturday, or Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 4 days of the week, whatever it is, but you're also going to the park with your kids, you're chasing your kids, you're picking your child up.
You're up and downstairs with,
I think if you're a
cleaning the
stay-at-home mom,
house.
you're not sitting down. Like,
No.
at least like every stay-at-home mom I know, and if you think that stay-at-home moms sit all day, you have a whole world to understand that it's so much harder than any job you can possibly think of.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would say I would probably prioritize you as moderate right now, and really see how your body responds to the calories that you're putting into it. And I want to actually hit on a very specific point. Active, you guys get active out of those two. Is that if you are trying to calculate your calories right now, you need to go 1 week, don't change anything in your routine. Like, don't change anything in your routine. Really dialing your not dial in. Like, don't change anything. And
just track it.
Track everything you're eating so you can see where you're at right now. If you're eating 1,300 calories and you need to be eating 2,400 calories, and you jump up at 2,400 calories, you're gonna gain weight. So you have to meet yourself where you are, is what I tell my clients. If you're at 1,300, we need to be at 2,400, we need to close the gap slowly. You have to close the gap slowly. One, there's no way you're going to physically be able to go from 13 to 2,400 overnight.
No.
You're just not going to do it. Like, it's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you right now. There's no physical way that somebody who eats 1,300 calories a day is now going to be able to eat 1,000 more, unless it's crap food.
If you can go up and add 300 calories.
Yes, and that's what I usually say. Add 200 calories. Give yourself about 2 weeks and see how you feel. Now, if you go, obviously, if you're at 1,300, you add 200, you should start feeling good. Now, where you play with your macros is you never mess with your protein macros, right? You always adjust your carbs and your fats. So I always ask people, are you getting headaches? How's your brain fog? How's your energy throughout the day? And if they say that they are having low energy, brain fog, and they have headaches, I increase their carbs, right? So I pick their carbs up a little bit, I take a little bit more from the fat. And sometimes it could be the opposite. They're like, no, and some people are more fat driven. They need more fats to perform. They're not very carb driven. Very few percentage there are people. So if you're looking at doing this right now, which is what I'm kind of getting the feedback from the questions coming in, is you guys are really like into this and you really want those questions. That's how you calculate your protein first. That's your priority. You fill in the gaps with your carbs and your fat, right? And so you can adjust those to reach the caloric need. 9 calories per 1 gram of fat, 4 calories per 1 gram of carbs, 4 calories for 1 gram of protein. And there are many different ways you can calculate those to get to the goals. You can Google it, or we can have a whole live on it too if that's what you guys want. I can help you guys with that.
Yeah.
Back to that. With that said, make sure that if you're at 1,300 now, do not start this tomorrow. Just don't change anything. It sucks to wait one more week.
I'll say number one, tracking what you eat is probably, for me, it's the number one results-driven task. It's the one thing that I know, as long as I'm just writing down and being as close as I can with what the caloric intake is for that day, I have a very good understanding of what direction I'm headed in.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's it. And like my goal for people is more lifestyle. And I did that whole, I just did a whole video on it. We were talking about diet plans. So I say throw the diet plan out the door, focus on the lifestyle, right? So if you know you need to eat 120 grams of protein a day, you need to prioritize that. And what does that look like for you? So I usually write an example out. Like that means if you're eating this amount of eggs in the morning for breakfast, this amount of protein for lunch, this amount of protein for dinner, fill in the gaps with some protein shakes too. It might help you get there. So maybe strategically plan initially, but you shouldn't live your life measuring and weighing everything. Like I know I can walk into Fit Life Foods and I can look at the small, medium, and large, and I can be like, okay, that has 30 grams of protein, but it has like 56 grams of carbs, but the small has 25 grams of protein and like 30 grams of carbs. I'm like, I'm gonna grab that because I probably don't need 56 grams right at that point. But I know that because I changed it to lifestyle.
That's right.
So initially it's hard, like anything.
Everything's hard in the beginning.
Everything's hard at first, but once you start doing it consistently, you become that person that can walk into the store, grab something and look at the label and you're like, okay, I can do this, this, and this. And the best thing you can do if you're a parent and if you're that stay-at-home mom is teach your child how to read nutrition labels and how to read a serving size. Because if you just let like that free pour of whatever it might be, that free scoop, it's not like you're limiting them or restricting them. It's teaching them proper nutrition at the end of the day that we aren't taught in schools. That everything has a serving size for a reason. And peanut butter, 2 tablespoons, 190 calories. Like right there, like peanut butter is fantastic. How many of you guys sit at home with a spoon of peanut butter? I actually don't buy Nutella in my house anymore because that's what I do with Nutella.
Nutella can be dangerous. My kids like it, but we just give them small doses of
and that's
it.
And
then,
too,
dip some apple slices in it, but you don't need to sit there.
There are absolutely rooms for treats. Like my daughter, she loves her pops and stuff like that, and like ice pops. And like as parents, we have total control over what our kids eat at home. Like that small stuff that she has at school, I don't really care. And I'm like, it's cool. It's like, enjoy it while you're at school. That's totally fine. She doesn't know what's outside of her house. Like what's available in our house is what's available in our house. She doesn't know anything outside of that. Right? So like as a parent, you kind of can teach your child proper nutrition through what you supply them and then obviously what you're feeding them and offering them. My daughter has free range of her snack cabinet. Literally, she just goes in there whenever she wants. She's 22 months old. She goes in there, Mama. And I'm like, okay, go get a bowl. And she's a peace. She signs everything. Please, thank you. It's so cute.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Very cute.
And she's more. Every time, more.
Don't get Ashley talking about her daughter. We'll be here for another hour. No, but this is really good information, very insightful. It's coming from somebody who has a very intimate understanding of nutrition and getting, logging, tracking, knowing what your body requirements are. And a lot of people, I don't think, just don't know that. You should know what your body needs versus what your spouse's body needs or your kid's body. Everyone has different needs based on who you are, age, gender, right? Activity level, how active or inactive you are. So try to start to figure that out for yourself and you'll start getting the results that you're after. Hey, free stuff. We talked about it earlier. Go in the description area below. Get your book, get your shaker cup, just pay shipping. You get this from Critical Bench. We want to give these out. We got some inventory left from our contest, so take advantage of this. And this was fun. Thank you so much. You got me up out of my office. See, I was sitting. I was being sedentary. I was vertical.
Look, I'm going to shameless plug. If you are sedentary, if you are sitting at a desk all day, go ahead and check out the HIPS programs because I guarantee your hips. Like I just told somebody this the other day. Shameless plug. Like you got to open your hips. I'm not kidding. Like you need to do world's greatest stretch. Yes, literally every day. You got to do 90-90, just like this. Shameless plug. You got to do it.
Squeeze your back butt cheek.
Yes.
Drive your hips forward. And just like this.
All right, so if you're a sedentary, if you're sitting at a desk right now, stop what you're doing and go ahead. You got to squeeze that butt cheek of the knee that's on the ground. You're going to feel it all the way up. And if you stretch up and over the head, you get the psoas too.
Yeah, and you can lean
all the way through.
Stretch that psoas.
Honestly, Coach Ashley, I got to coach you through something, right?
Yeah, that's
Other than just nutrition.
Feels good. Thanks, Ash.
You're welcome.
Thank you for watching. Always a pleasure. We'll be back here soon enough.
Yeah.
the one and only Ashley. We'll see you next time.